Please welcome House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer.
Good evening. I am so pleased to be with all of you. I'm pleased to be with my friend, your former president, Lillian Pincus, who I was talking to in the back, Howard Core, your executive director, your president, Mort Friedman, and of course, as all of you know, my very, very dear and close friend, Howard Friedman. I know most of you don't know him, but he's worth getting to know. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may know, I am not Jewish, nor do I represent a large Jewish constituency. But I have visited Israel for every decade in the last 15 times. And that is important because I have seen the courage of its people and their enduring spirit to make their country flourish. I'm an American who believes passionately in the idea of Israel, in the state of Israel, and in the essential right of Jews to have a place of sanctuary in their homeland after millennia of hatred, prejudice, exclusion, dehumanization, and attempted annihilation. The State of Israel, founded upon that profound, transcendent premise, must never be allowed to fail. I stand with Israel proudly and unapologetically. So, ladies and gentlemen, when someone accuses American supporters of dual loyalty, I say, accuse me. I am a part of a large, bipartisan coalition in Congress supporting Israel, an overwhelming majority in the Congress of the United States. I tell Israel's accusers and detractors, accuse me. And millions of Americans, regardless of race or faith or partisan label, stand with Israel. They stand with Israel because they understand why our relationship with Israel is so very important. Accuse us all. We stand with Israel because it is important for our fidelity to our shared values and for our national security. Our nations are bound by common ideals, common challenges, and yes, common vision. And yes, as democracies, we share imperfections and at times a failure to follow our own ideals. Together, however, we cherish dissent and value criticism of leaders and policies. That's a good thing. It's what makes our democracies stronger. However, what weakens us is when, instead of engaging in legitimate debate about policies, someone questions the motives of his or her fellow citizens, or tries to silence others through exclusion, disenfranchisement, or fear. That is not the best of our democracies. In a region of dictatorships and dynasties, Israel remains a beachhead of freedom and representative government. In Israel's democracy, where the rule of law is upheld and freedom of expression is assured, Americans see a mirror image of our own. We admire Israel's vibrant, free market of economic and constitutional ideas. Americans and Israelis believe that when everyone has the right to speak up, democracy does its job and lifts the best ideas to the top. Not always perfectly, but better than any other system. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where AIPAC plays such a critical role. You are the educators and informers about Israel's complexity and commitment to democracy. So let's have debates on policy instead of impugning the loyalty of Israel's supporters. In doing so, we will approach these debates with confidence in our ideals and our convictions. That is why I oppose those who push for boycotts, divestments, and sanctions against Israel. Because when the curtain is pulled back, everyone can see what the movement truly is: a front for delegitimizing the Jewish people's right to self-determination. Omar Bugatti, the founder and leader of the BDS movement, made that very clear when he said, and I quote, "We oppose a Jewish state in any part of Palestine. There ought to be no confusion," the objective of the BDS movement. And Barghouti confirmed his objective when he hatefully declared that, and I quote again, "Jews are not a people." What planet does he live on? What fools does he think we are? Democracy only works when citizens are educated and informed. As advocates for truth, we here in this room must educate and inform our fellow Americans about what BDS really aims to do: destroy a partner democracy and one of America's most faithful allies. We will stand against that. We will stand against that. We will stand against that. As some of you know, I've been very proud to help lead efforts in Congress to push back against the BDS movement. And I will push for a bipartisan resolution led by Congressman Brad Schneider and Jerry Nadler that puts Congress on record that BDS must be opposed, and at its root, it is an effort to eliminate the Middle East's only pluralistic democracy. Together, all 18,001 of us, I guess I'm the one, together we will defeat BDS because at its core it is un-American. With that same resolve, together we will meet the challenges we face from terror and tyranny, instability and ignorance. In 2019, the most dangerous source of terror aimed at Israel and the United States continues to be Iran. The tyrannical regime of Iran's theocratic rulers who have called the Jewish state, and again I quote, a cancerous tumor that must be removed, and who have promised to annihilate Israel. That regime must never be permitted to acquire nuclear weapon capability. Never. The United States and the world cannot allow that to happen. The democratically led House, but in a bipartisan, overwhelming way, will not allow it to happen. We must continue to assert clearly and emphatically that Israel's existence as a Jewish state cannot be threatened. The prospect of an Iranian foothold in Syria is a danger to us both. We must never allow Iran a permanent base on the doorstep of Israel. Never. Earlier this year, the Democratic House passed bipartisan sanctions on the Assad regime to promote a settlement to the conflict that does not leave Iran with any foothold. And while Hezbollah and Iran send drones to threaten the skies over northern Israel, our nations, the United States and Israel, are engaging in a new, enhanced anti-UAV technology partnership. The ambassador mentioned the extraordinary technology that Israel has developed. And with the United States, we will have surely the best defense that we can possibly have to protect Israel from the threats that confront it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're also committed to partnering in the development and the deployment of anti-tunneling technology to counter Hamas and the terrorists they would send to threaten Israel's southern communities. Like many of you, I've traveled to communities in the south of Israel, Sderot and others. They have endured the fear of rockets and tunnels. I've traveled with over 150 of my fellow Democratic members of Congress to meet with those who live under the constant threat of terror. And yes, we've met with a bipartisan Republican delegation in Israel to let them know that it is not a Republican or Democratic issue, it is an American issue. This August, I will lead what I expect to be the largest delegation ever, probably more than 30 Democratic members of Congress, including many freshmen. By the way, there are 62 freshman Democrats. You hear me? 62, not 3. Those members will see firsthand the challenges faced by Israel and its people, as well as their extraordinary, and I've mentioned it before, courage and commitment to their country and to its ideals. It has been and continues to be the platform of our party, my party, of our Democratic caucus that a, quote, strong and secure Israel is vital to the United States because we share overarching strategic interests and the common values of democracy, equality, tolerance, and pluralism. I've worked all my career to build and maintain a bipartisan consensus in support of Israel. We must stand firm in this fight. Support for Israel must never be a partisan issue or perceived as a partisan issue. Democrats and Republicans overwhelmingly support Israel, as do independents. That is why maintaining the perception and reality of near unanimous support for Israel's security, sovereignty, and existence is, in my view, so critically important and why I work so hard at it. America has been, is now, and must always be Israel's strongest supporter and defender. Bipartisan support for the U.S.-Israel relationship is, in many ways, one of the greatest strengths of Israel. The ambassador said that just recently. And it's also a great strength in America's arsenal, too. Yes, we stand with Israel because we stand for America's security. Yes, we stand with Israel because we stand for freedom. Yes, we stand with Israel because we reject bigotry and prejudice. Yes, we stand with Israel because we abhor the violence directed throughout the millennia at our Jewish brothers and sisters. Yes, we stand with Israel because we respect their courage, their resilience, their refusal to be forced out of the land of their ancestors. Yes, we stand with Israel. Because we are loyal Americans, patriots who believe it is in the American interest that Israel remains a strong and free and supported as a place of refuge from the haters of the world. Yes, we stand with Israel. I thank you for the honor of standing with you for Israel. God bless you, God bless our country, and God bless this great alliance between two great democracies. Thank you very much.